what's up? And welcome back to Cross the Line. I'm Andrea Renee. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrea Renee. And don't forget to follow at Street Fighter as well. We have got a special guest in the studio today. Street Fighter X Tekken's Senior Product Manager, Matt Dahlgren, is here, and he's going to give you guys an exclusive first look at the new gem system. We know that you guys have questions and you've been itching for more details about the gems, and we've got your first look later on in the show. So this is the point of the show where we talk about the contest. That's right, the Facebook contest on our Facebook page, facebook.com/StreetFighter. You guys put up some really awesome photos for round 2 for the Crossing is the New Planking contest. And now round 3 is open and it's called War Paint. We need you guys to use your computer's paint program and draw some of the most awesome knockouts you can using at least one Street Fighter character and one Tekken character. They can be anywhere, doing anything, as long as your team is delivering a severe smackdown to the other guys. Keep it clean, you guys. We don't want to have to censor anything, but do be as creative as possible. Submissions end on Christmas night, and voting starts immediately after, so you still have some time to get your creative juices flowing. If you want all of the details, head on over to facebook.com/StreetFighter. Last week, we started doing giveaways right here on Cross the Line, so now it's time for me to give a big congratulations to the Squee Man for winning last episode's giveaway with this comment. He said, "I'd be Hwoarang and I would punch everyone who can't say my name correctly in the face. I mean, with my feet, because I'm not really known for my amazing punches." That's definitely true, and people do say it wrong. I probably even just said it wrong. We've got some more of those exclusive Street Fighter X Tekken Bobble Buds to give away. All you guys have to do is subscribe and leave a comment answering this new question. Which character are you still hoping to make the final Street Fighter X Tekken roster, and why? I know you guys have lots of thoughts about this, so I'm looking forward to reading them in the comments. The winner will be chosen at random, and we're also going to start doing giveaways on our Twitter page, so make sure you're following at Street Fighter for your chance to win. Earlier on, I told you guys we're giving you an exclusive first look at the gem system, and now it's that time. So let's head to the studio with Matt Dahlgren from Capcom to see what this gem system is all about. Today, we have a very special treat. We have Matt Dahlgren in studio with us. He's the Senior Product Manager at Capcom, and he's here to give you guys an exclusive look at the new gem system for Street Fighter X Tekken. Thanks for coming by today, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
I know everyone's very excited to get a look at the gem system, but before we get to that, you have been doing fighting games for a really long time.
That is true. I've been playing fighting games now for about 15 years. Been a very big, avid fan. Back in the day, I was an active part of the Tekken community back when Tekken Tag and Tekken 4 were in their heyday. I also did a lot of tournament organizing for Super Smash Bros. Melee back when that scene was just starting to find its legs. And I managed to land a job at Capcom, which is pretty much my dream job.
I think any fighting game fan would love to work for Capcom.
That is true. It's very nice to be able to work on product that you legitimately care about, and Capcom is the place to be. So I'm very excited to be here to show you guys the gem system today.
And I know the fans and the players are definitely excited to get a first look at it as well. So before we get into specifics, give us just like an overview of what the gem system is.
Okay, so the gem system is an innovative new feature that we're pushing for fighting games, and it allows for a higher level of customization than people have ever been able to experience before in a fighting game. Now what's cool about this is it's a good way for casual players to kind of improve on their weaknesses, but it's also a system that can be used by hardcore players to take their game to the next level. And the way to do that is between the balance between assist gems and boost gems. So what we're going to be showing you here today is all of the gems that come standard with Street Fighter X Tekken. Now there are ways to get additional gems. We have announced pre-order incentives. We're going to be putting all that information up on Capcom Unity today, and we're basically unveiling the actual details of each of these gems. So definitely check out the post, go look at them in detail, and you can use that to kind of inform your decision on where you want to pre-order.
And you guys can also get extra gems by getting the special edition of Street Fighter X Tekken.
That is true. So the special edition has all of our pre-order incentives all in one. So the game comes standard with 57 gems. If you get the special edition, there are 45 additional ones on top of that, only a $10 increase, so that's a lot of DLC content right there.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's get into some specifics. I mean, people have lots of questions about the gems. What's the main difference between boost and assist gems?
Okay, so to start things off, 57 gems come standard, right? There's going to be 5 assist gems and 42 or 52 boost gems. Now, what assist gems do are, those are ways for you to kind of improve on various weaknesses that you may have. So I'm going to actually show you the menu screen here. So the first 2 that are up is easy input and super easy input. Basically, these make your special moves a little bit easier to execute. So in super easy input mode, it only takes a single direction and a button press to be able to execute a move. So if you just press forward and punch or back and kick with Kazuya, you can execute these with the greatest of ease. And what that allows you to do, or it allows new players to be able to focus more on trying to set up the specific attacks rather than having to manipulate the actual control scheme to begin with. Now, one thing I want to show you is the fact that for super easy input mode, what it does is, since the forward and attack button may take the place of another attack that would have had that, you can see what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the command list for Kazuya. Here, you can see at the bottom there's different button commands, so you can see the different inputs for them. So for easy, this is right now normal, so you can see up at the top the misstep is forward, neutral, down, down, forward. Now if I go to easy commands, now it's just going to be forward, neutral, down, forward. Then if I go to super easy, which is triangle, now it's just forward and down, forward. One thing to note here is in super easy input mode, if I go over to unique attacks, you can see down here there's a whole bunch of attacks which are listed as cannot be used. And that means that those are attacks that start now with something that's going to activate an actual special move instead of one of these normal moves. So you can see going to easy commands, they all come back because the easy commands are a little bit harder to do. So people may think that may be overpowered, but one thing that people aren't taking into consideration is that all assist gems have drawbacks associated with them. So anyone that equips the easy input or super easy input gem is going to have a negative 10% attack decrease to their fighter. So naturally, that's a pretty hefty handicap, so a good player that can execute special moves without assistance is most likely not going to want to play these gems. The other gem that has a 10% attack decrease is going to be the cancel assist, which you can see right here. That makes your special move cancels a little bit easier to do, so players that are going to start being able to string combos together, this is a good thing for them to equip to make that a little bit easier.
And I've noticed that these don't have any conditions, so they're active from the beginning of the match?
Yes, so assist gems are active all the time, and the drawback is active all the time at the same time as well. So you're always going to be doing 10% less damage in your battle if you have an assist.
Definitely something to take in consideration when you're equipping assist gems.
For sure, yeah. Now the last 2 assist gems are auto throw escape and auto block. When these were first announced, people kind of assumed that you'd be able to block every attack in the game, but that would obviously be broken. So the drawbacks associated to these are attached to your cross gauge. So for instance, with auto throw, if someone throws you and you don't naturally break it, then you will break it, but you'll lose 1/3 of your cross gauge. For auto block, if there is a move that you would have been able to block but failed to do so, the game will automatically block it for you, but you'll lose 1/3 of your cross gauge. It sounds pretty powerful, but the cross gauge is really an essential component of being able to do a lot of damage. It allows you options to be able to tag safely. It also allows you to have enough meter to pull off cross arts, which are the most damaging attack in the game. So for instance, if you have the auto block gem equipped, every time you would have naturally gotten hit, your gauge is going to be decreasing all the time. So you're not likely to be able to get to the point where you have a full cross gauge to be able to execute one of those attacks.
So if you don't know how to block, you're just never going to be able to do a power move, essentially.
That is very true. But
it's
you
kind
will
of like a teaching tool, a little bit.
It is. It will allow you to stay in the game a little bit longer, but it definitely nerfs some of your attack options at your disposal.
All right, so let's talk about some of these awesome boost gems.
Okay, so boost gems are really the bread and butter of the gem system and what people will be doing to take their game to the next level. So to go over and show you the different categories, there's 5 different categories of boost gems. Attack, defense, speed, vitality, and cross gauge. Each of the different boost gems give you a slight increase in any one of those categories, and the distinguishing factor between each of the gems are their activation conditions. So let's look at the list. So right now we're looking at attack gems right here. The first activation condition is going to be connect with 5 normal moves. So if you want your gem boost to happen very early in the match, this is going to happen after you hit your first or second combo. You're going to get your attack increase. Now other ones block 5 times. So for instance, if I'm defensive naturally, what this allows me to do is to kind of spring this on my opponent once I block 5 different attacks. Now if you want your gems to activate a little bit later in the match, you can have some of the activation conditions which are a little bit harder to achieve. So connect 3 special moves. It may take you longer to connect 3 special moves than it does to like block 5 attacks. So that's likely to activate a little bit later in the match.
So there's a lot of tailoring to how you play involved with the gem system.
Definitely. And the cool thing about it is you can really mix and match different gems to create a strategy that really fits your gameplay style. So that talks about the different categories. We are releasing all of these details online, so you can look through and kind of see the different activation conditions, which are really what distinguishes the gems from each other. But what I'd like to do now is show a couple preset things that we've thrown together and kind of explain how you can put all of this together and kind of have a strategy that fits your style. So I'm going to talk about a strategy that players could use if they're just starting in the game, right? So right here I have Kazuya, and I have him set up with a gem loadout that's going to be suited very well for beginning players, right? So in slot number 1, I have super easy input mode. So this is going to nerf his overall damage that he can do, but it's going to allow the player to focus more on the timing associated as to when to do a special move, when not to do a special move, and to focus more on the tactics involved in the match. Now, to neutralize the fact that he naturally has a 10% decrease in health, I've equipped the Immense Power level 1 gem. So after my opponent blocks 4 of my attacks, this is going to kick in and give me a 10% damage increase, and that's going to neutralize things, so it would be like I didn't have the assist gem to begin with. Then, since I'm a new player, I want to have more time playing the game, so I've equipped a level 2 Iron Wall, which is a defense gem. So once I get hit by 8 normal moves, this is going to kick in. It's going to give me a 20% damage reduction, and it's going to give my damage output nerfed by about 10%. So this is going to keep me in the match a little bit longer, but also it's going to be much harder for me to KO my opponent.
So basically, when you start flashing yellow, you better pull out all the special moves you have or you're about to die.
Yeah,
okay.
In this case, that is true. So that's a gem loadout that works well for beginners. Let's go for a different strategy. So on Ryu, I have a different loadout. So what I've done is I've stacked both my speed gem and my cross gauge gem, both to have the same activation condition, which is connect with 3 special moves. And those are both going to kick in at the same time. So for instance, I would play with Ryu. I'd throw 3 fireballs. Once my 3rd fireball hits, then both of these are going to kick in. Since I have my added speed increase, I'm going to be able to build cross meter even faster. Then what I'm going to have is in the number 3 spot, I have connect with 10 normal moves, and I have a level 2 immense power gem. So that's going to give me a plus 20% damage output for 15 seconds. It will nerf my speed for by 10% for the same amount of time, but once I will have been able to accumulate enough meter to get a full cross gauge, then I can activate my immense power gem, hit something very powerful like a cross arts, and that's going to likely finish off your opponent. So that shows something for a little bit intermediate. Now I'm going to show kind of how you can set a trap for your opponent. So I'm going to go select Ken here. Now one of the things that's interesting about the gem system is when you start a match, you can see what gem categories that your opponent has picked, but you can't see their actual activation conditions. That's hidden, and only you know that. So what I've done with this loadout is I've stacked all 3 of mine to be the same condition. So I've got an attack, speed, and defense boost, all which are going to give me 10% right when I block 5 times. So if I start the match off playing a little bit defensively, once I block 5 times, I'll activate all 3 at the same time, giving my character a very strong boost, which then will allow me to kind of pounce on them and catch them off guard. So you can see with those 3 different loadouts, which I've explained, a lot of different variety of tactics that you can use utilizing the gem system. Everything all ends up being between like a 10 to 30% stat bonus, so it's not going to be overly overpowering, but it definitely will affect the way that people play their characters.
Now, how many different custom loadouts can you have per character?
So you do everything through the customize screen, which I just showed you here. Every single character has 2 different save slots. So you can have kind of a primary gem loadout and a secondary gem loadout. And you select between those on the character select screen.
So I know a lot of people, when you guys first made the announcements about the gems, were concerned about the ability to not have them equipped. Is it true that it's mandatory to use the gems?
It is actually not true. So you can unequip gems if you want to, but the gem system is a very fundamental part of the game. So it's going to give you various stat increases, so there's not really any reasons that you're going to want to take that away from you. But players can unequip it if they want, but if they're going to be playing online, there's not going to be any sort of sorting to allow you to play with other non-gem players, because we do feel the gem system is an integral part of the game.
So basically, if you don't want to play with the gems, you're just forcibly giving yourself a handicap.
Exactly. So now that you kind of have the lowdown as to how the gem system works, let's jump into a match and we can see it in action, and I'll explain what happens as it goes along.
All right, I'm ready. Let's get some gem action on.
Let's do this.
All right, so at the bottom of the screen, you're going to be able to see the different gem indicators right next to the cross gauge. On the right-hand side, you can see that the assist gems are always actives, which is why they're continuously blinking. All right, now we can start playing. So right now with Ken, I've got my trap set up. So if I block a few moves, then I'm going to activate all 3 of my gems at the same time, which I just did right there. And spring on your opponent. I'm going to want to take advantage of this as much as I can. Although it just got hit. Until that runs out. So now you can see my gems have now run out. Taking very good advantage of that easy input mode, putting the pressure on. Got the double palm down.
That's right.
All right, right now you can see you have a attack gem which is enabled, which is why your character is glowing red. I'm tagging Ryu in. None of my gems are active just yet. Good tag.
Oh, no!
Kazuya now, on the right-hand side, has his defense gem enabled, so you should be taking a little bit less damage. That was a good one, though.
I'm getting distracted by the T-Rex in the background.
I know. All right, so for round 2, all of your gems then reset, but you get to keep your cross gauge. Right now I have a full cross meter, so I'm going to probably want to set up a Team Cross Arts, which is going to be Aura. I'm going to eat one in the face. They did right there.
Oh, yes.
Very nice one.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
There we go. That was my revenge.
That's some pretty impressive revenge.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have tagged out because his gem was active, but he was getting a little low on health there.
Yep. So you can see with Ken, I now have all 3 of my gems active yet again, so I want to try to take advantage of this as long as I can. You actually have the same. You have both your attack and defense gems enabled. There we go.
Oh, I wasn't watching the meter. Got me slacking.
It was a good game, though.
All right, so you guys just got an amazing detailed look at the gem system. Matt, thank you so much for coming by today and showing it to us. I know the folks out there probably want to know when they can get their hands on the gem system.
So what I showed you today is a sneak peek. We are going to be taking the game around with the gem system enabled in January timeframe. In true Capcom fashion, we'll try to take it to as many events as possible to make sure people can get their hands-on time with it and get themselves familiar with gyms.
That does it for this episode. Big thank you to Matt for dropping by and giving us a better look at the gem system. I know you guys had lots of questions, so hopefully most of them were answered. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/streetfighter. We'll be taking a little bit of a holiday break, but we'll be back in the new year on January 5th. Until then, happy holidays, and don't forget your Street Fighter X Tekken pre-order. I'm Andrew Renee, and I'll see you guys in a few weeks right here on Cross the Line.
Hadouken!